Hello and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. I'm Mike here with Alex, coming to you from GreenDragonCVR in Woodbridge to talk about video games. How are you, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm not so bad. Honestly enjoying Final Fantasy 16 more, which I guess...
we turned around a little bit. A little bit,
yeah.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about more, I guess, over the course of this video. But before we get into anything specific, I just wanted to say again, man, it seems like it's been a fucking awesome year for games.
Yeah, it has been crazy. It's like overwhelming a little bit. It's been pretty out there.
It's the deluge of shit. I don't know, like, if I quite think it's reached the highs of the 2019 with like the Death Stranding and Sekiro and shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we like holding 2019 up as like?
Yeah, I still think like those games were more of a. I guess we'll see when Armored Core comes out, but it's a case to be made that this year has had some
heavy hitters. Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were just looking over this right now, and holy shit, dude! Like,
you can tell so much because there's games on this list that we haven't even touched that in other years would have been like high priority, like Fire Emblem, for example, right? But anyway.
Yeah, right at the front. They're already out too.
Yeah.
There were so many just in the beginning of the year up until now, and just to run through them quick, there was Forspoken, which we enjoyed.
We enjoyed the
everybody
hell
else's
out of
opinion.
Yep.
It was Fire Emblem, Hogwarts, Octopath 2, Wild Hearts, Atomic Heart, Metroid Prime, Scars Above, Wolong, Resident Evil 4, even Dead Island and Star Wars Survivor, which we didn't play, but I know a lot of people around here did enjoy.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
There was fucking Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the V Rising expansion, and even Final Fantasy 16. You know?
Yeah.
And that's just up until now. Half the year is still ahead, and there's a whole pile of other games that I'm looking forward to.
Normally, like, that would have been like a good year.
That would have been 8
right? That would have been quite a good year for games in terms of what we're looking for and the stuff that we play a lot of.
Yeah.
You know?
It would have been a pretty full year. A pretty, you know...
And that's only the first half.
Representative of most of the genres that are worth representing, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's only the first half. And, you know, in those games we just listed off, you see a bunch of JRPGs, some open-world adventure games, I guess you can call them. There's some FPS stuff like Atomic Heart. That,
true. Open-world FPS, kind of Bioshocky,
Yeah, there was a couple of Souls-like the Scars Above and Wolong. You got a Final Fantasy, a Resident Evil, a Star Wars game, all these big brands represented.
Yeah,
so Octopath 2 is a really classical JRPG.
Yes,
as well. So
yeah.
That's nice, man, yeah.
And again, like I haven't even scratched the surface of that game, whereas normally I would probably have played the shit out of it, but like there's so much going on.
And even now, going into the July, there's Remnant 2 coming out, which I really liked. I was a big fan of the first Remnant, so for me this is like, even though it's from a smaller studio and it's a $40 game or $50 or whatever, it's
even be, all the more reason.
Yeah, one of the standout games.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm looking forward to it more than most of the big ones.
Actually, I totally forgot about it until you mentioned it to me today, and I'm very excited because I dabbled a little in Remnant, really liked it, but didn't end up playing too much of it, so I'm a lot more enthusiastic to jump into 2 fresh right out the gate and like see how it is. Let's go, right?
Man, Remnant was a full-ass game. It was long, and I didn't even finish the DLC. It was very long, and tons of bosses. You don't even see all the bosses in your first playthrough.
That's right,
how the game is rolled and stuff. So, I mean, it's an excellent game. The story is cool and, like, you know, presented in this Dark Souls, like, mythopoetic fashion, where you kind of, like, have to piece together the nature of the world and the story from stuff characters tell you and bits of information from the items and shit like that. Though there are a couple more cutscenes. I think they're a bit more generous with information than the Souls games.
Yeah, just a little bit more, right?
Yeah.
Like, marginally.
The real novelty, though, it goes without saying, is the fucking shooting. It's Souls-like with shooting, right?
Yeah, the gameplay, right?
It's a third-person shooter, and it's a really competent third-person shooter, too. It's not like it's a throwaway consideration. Like, playing it feels really good. It's tons of different guns.
It's interesting that it's gone the Souls route, but not melee combat and, like, more shooter, right? And that they've adapted it to work that way, right? Like, it's really cool.
Without a lock-on, essentially. Nothing like that.
Yeah. What is there in terms of melee? Just like basic,
melee
like
options, you can build a close range character with shotguns and melee weapons.
Oh, okay, shotgun, like a mixture of shotguns, but also melee.
You could probably do melee character if you want, but a close range build would probably be the idea.
Pretty difficult that way, right?
Probably, There's probably stuff you have to target that you can't hit without a long range weapon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with that.
And there's no lock on, right? It's supposed to be like But definitely worth something checking out. And in that same spirit, there's a game called Immortals of Avium.
Yeah, that's a slightly interesting looking game. I don't know too much about it, though.
Magic-based FPS coming from, like, apparently it's being published by EA, but by a smaller studio who I'm not aware of their identity or history. But that alone, like, given the success, to my mind, of Wild Hearts.
Yeah, could be a similar situation, right? Where they is that a thing that EA is doing now? Just publishing, like, smaller studios, trying to branch out, maybe?
But it's
like,
a good idea.
I hope so, because that's, like, I mean, we enjoyed Wild Hearts, and
Koei Tecmo and EA.
If this game is good too, then I see no reason for them to not keep going.
looking back at things like Sekiro and hopefully this and at Wild Hearts, you know, I think it might speak to that, the value of those kind of collaborations between big publishers and
definitely.
like third-party developers that they don't own, and it tends to produce the best shit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's something to look forward to, and I think there's Blasphemous as well.
Blasphemous too, yeah.
That's also before the end of the month. Oh no, excuse me, that's in August. Immortals of Avium is the end of August, not in July. Okay. And Blasphemous is also at the end of August, the 24th. So Blasphemous 2, that's that Catholicism-inspired Metroidvania 2D Souls-like thing, fucking horror game. Looks awesome. It's gonna be worth checking out for sure.
Oh yeah.
From a Spanish developer, I believe. And then of course there's Armored Core 6.
Armored Core 6, that's the biggie. That's I think for the rest of the year, like that's probably top number one. Like obviously,
that is a From
being
Software
Souls
game.
fans, FromSoft game.
Yeah.
Even though it's obviously a departure from what they've been doing in the last fucking decade or longer, but
I'm so excited to see their take on that kind of universe.
Yeah, like
now.
it'll be
like
interesting. And the cool thing is too, it actually is their franchise. It's not like they took it over because FromSoft originally developed all the Armored Core games. Obviously,
Miyazaki even worked on a few.
And years ago, that's right. Miyazaki worked some of the most recent
that's right.
entries in the series. So this is a very exciting thing in general in the industry. Like this is fucking hype, right?
It's going to be very cool.
I'm excited, obviously, needless to say.
Yeah, I really remember from 2 and a couple of the other entries I played in the older consoles, like the tone in the world being not unlike Souls, this like mysterious and like fucking
that's true
overarching world much bigger than you that you're trying to piece together what occurs in it, and like every little bit of information is interesting.
A lot of items with long text entries that you sort of also I remember like reading all the parts and like kind of you sort of pick up on the world because of that shit. And there was tons of different customization options around, like different
that's the other big
fucking
thing.
Manufacturers making different
guns
pieces
and speed and like whether you're a tank or a bipedal.
Different builds, like crazy. It had like all this basically like Soul style builds probably, right? In a different way because it was a mech game. But oh man, it'll be so cool to see what that game is like.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're gonna really ratchet up the customization to please people.
I would imagine. Yeah, right. It's got to be like that, classic Armored Core, right?
That's right, for sure.
Wow.
And after that, there's fucking Starfield, man. You know, I really want it to be good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, of course. So do I.
But I don't think it's gonna be.
I'm not too enthused either.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen anything specific that leads me to believe this, but just looking back at the past few years of games released by Bethesda most recently, and
being under Microsoft does them no favors either now.
By Microsoft more recently yet still. I don't think that.
It's an awful combo, and then coming off the heels of Fallout 76.
Yeah. It is possible, though. It's possible it's going to be good.
It is. You're right. Like,
on the quality
we shouldn't
of the writing.
Totally not like write it off. Maybe they deserve some of the benefit of the doubt. We just
That's what we said about Redfall too, though.
That's true.
We
did, didn't we?
Yeah.
You know what? Even to this day, though, I remember watching the footage and being like, "Some of this looks really cool." Like,
honestly, I kind of
see. Like, it reminded me of like Remnant or something sick anyway, and I was like, but.
Yeah.
Now I don't even want to play it. Obviously,
I don't know. Yeah.
I fear that this is what's gonna happen too. Like, even on top of that, the stuff they've shown hasn't really blown my mind anyway.
It just
been kind of like whatever. It's like it looks like No Man's Sky.
I remember when I saw footage of Outer Worlds, it immediately jumped out at you because of the art style and the colors and shit.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
It had a very distinctive look to it. It had that like retro futurism going for it, right? But Starfield looks very generic.
It just looks bland.
It's very generic. It looks like something built out of assets on the fucking Steam store, you know? Built from the fucking assets that somebody else made, right? Like,
honestly, I feel like it's in their, like, the ball's in their court to win us over on this one. I don't feel fucking
I'm gonna be really happy to be won over, though. I'm enthusiastic for that.
If that's what ends up happening,
it's gonna be fantastic.
We'll have to see. Yeah, when does that come out? In September, I think.
It's gonna be.
Let's say September.
September 6th. Not that far, bro.
Pretty. Yeah,
not that
soon.
far.
It's coming up.
I'm gonna get us a couple of copies anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you have an Xbox?
I do not.
No?
That's right. It's not coming out on PlayStation. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we'll see how that unfolds in the next couple of months. After that, there's Lies of P, which is that Pinocchio kind of Souls-like. Literally a Pinocchio-based Souls-like.
Bloodborne clone, basically, right? Like it almost...
I haven't had time to play the demo yet, but other
There's a
boys
demo?
around here. Yeah, Zach has played it, a couple of the other guys, and they said it's awesome.
Oh,
so,
sick.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump into that soon. I didn't even
Zach's
know.
played a shit. He fucking platinumed a number of different Souls games. Fucking,
Oh, yeah?
The guy
No way.
beat Thymesia even last year, so I trust him on the Souls likes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to Lies of P. I like those indie Souls likes. Very rarely I've never really been disappointed by one, you know?
Yeah, I think like the worst one maybe, and you still liked it, was probably like the Surge or the Surge 2 maybe?
Yeah, the Surge 1 I never even started, and the Surge 2 I did like it, but yeah, I don't really have much negative things to say about it. There's a bit of asset reuse.
Hellpoint you liked.
Yeah, Hellpoint I liked, yeah.
Still
Mortal
played
Shell.
That. Mortal Shell was great. I finished that.
Yeah. The only ones that I never really finished were fucking the Team Ninja ones because they're looters and they're so fucking padded, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones are a nice, comfortable, like 30, 40 hours, you know, with no looter-based progression.
Yeah.
But the Team Ninja ones.
Talking about Neo and stuff?
Neo and Wolong, yeah.
Fuck.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they're slogs for sure.
But after that, there's also Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, and you just told me they're going to be rebooting the whole game, essentially.
Yeah,
right?
it's basically like a soft reboot from what I'm gathering and seeing online, is that they're changing a lot of the underlying elements of the game anyway, regardless of whether you buy the DLC or not. So it's a big update regardless. And then included with that is the DLC shit, which is like some kind of continuation of the story, I believe. Nice. So fuck, that'll be cool to see how that unfolds.
Yeah. I think it's V trying to live.
Yeah.
Because I think in the canonical ending, he's still got V inside him and he's fucked, right?
Right. That'd be interesting to see.
And then after that, there's still a couple more, which is Alan Wake. We got fucking Metal Gear Solid Collection as well.
MGS Collection. I'm hyped for that. I'm probably just going to fucking replay all of the MGS games at that point.
I think I will too.
The Super Mario RPG I do want to play because I liked the game as a child but never had it and never played through it as an adult. So this is like a nice excuse to maybe try and run through and see how it is. It's straight up. That was back in the day, that was a Squaresoft and Nintendo collaboration, like back in the Final Fantasy Nintendo heydays, right? Where they just were like, hey, fuck it, let's make a Super Mario Final Fantasy game. That was like the original Kingdom Hearts, maybe.
Really?
You know, it's a straight up turn-based RPG with all like in the world Super Mario.
Adriana played the most recent one. She said it was excellent.
Oh, the Paper Mario. Yeah, because that spawned like the Paper Mario series, yes. Yeah. But Super Mario RPG was the first of its kind. And it's cool because it's turn-based, but with like real-time elements where like you have to time certain button presses to do extra damage. Shit like that like kind of just, you know, mixes it up a bit, makes it a little more interesting.
It's a fucking full year then, even with that, buddy.
Yeah, there's just so much coming out. I don't know how the hell we're going to get to all this stuff.
Probably
Thankfully, I finished 16, so I'm, you know, unless I jump in and do some side quests just for fun, at least I'm done the majority of the game. I don't know.
What do you say we...
Yeah, I think we can cut her off now.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.
Oh, yeah.